Picture a city square, not bustling with commuters rushing to offices, but filled with people engaged in something else. One group tends a vibrant community garden. Another discusses philosophy under a shaded tree. A lone artist sketches the scene, unhurried. Children learn through play and exploration, guided by mentors, not rigid schedules. The factories are silent, run by automated systems. The offices hum with servers, managed by AI. Transportation flows seamlessly, orchestrated by algorithms. Most traditional jobs, the ones that define generations, have faded into history, replaced by intelligent machines that work tirelessly, efficiently, without complaint. It sounds like utopia to some. Freedom from toil. To others, a terrifying void. Freedom from purpose? What happens to us when the work is gone? This isn't merely about economics or retraining programs. It cuts deeper to the core of how we've structured our lives and identities for centuries. In a potential future where superintelligent AI handles the vast majority of tasks we currently call work, how does the very meaning of our lives shift? What becomes the role of human effort, struggle, and contribution? How do we find purpose, fulfillment, and a sense of value when the traditional anchor of labor is lifted? Are we ready to redefine what it means to live a meaningful life beyond the metrics of productivity and economic output? Or will we drift, lost in an abundance of leisure we never learned how to navigate? Historically, work has been more than just sustenance. It provided structure to our days, social connections, a sense of identity, a measure of status. What do you do? Is often the first question we ask. Our professions become labels, shaping how we see ourselves and how others see us. Psychology highlights the importance of competence, autonomy, and relatedness for well-being, needs often met, at least partially, through work. Economists debate the transition. Universal Basic Income, UBI, is proposed as a safety net, decoupling income from traditional employment. But does UBI address the psychological void? Studies on retirement and unemployment often show initial relief followed by potential feelings of aimlessness, boredom, or loss of identity if not replaced by meaningful engagement. Can leisure alone sustain us? Sociologists ponder the restructuring of society. Will new forms of contribution emerge? Perhaps focused on creativity, care, community building, lifelong learning, philosophical exploration? Or could we see a divergence? An elite engaged in steering AI and complex tasks, while a vast majority exists in a state of managed consumption and entertainment. The definition of productivity itself comes under scrutiny. Is value only created through economic transactions? What about raising children, caring for elders, volunteering, creating art for its own sake, pursuing knowledge without immediate application? These activities, often undervalued in a purely capitalist framework, might become central in a post-work world. But this requires a profound shift in societal values. A move away from equating human worth with economic output. Are we capable of such a fundamental revaluation? Or are we too deeply conditioned by the work ethic, even when the work itself disappears? From a Buddhist perspective, this potential upheaval is not inherently catastrophic. It is another manifestation of Anicca, impermanence. The nature of all conditioned things is to change. Societies change, economies change, technologies change. Clinging, upadana, to a specific way of life, a specific definition of self tied to work, is a source of suffering, dukkha. The challenge isn't the change itself, but our attachment to how things were or how we think they should be. If AI liberates us from toil, can we see it as an opportunity rather than a threat? An opportunity to explore deeper dimensions of existence? Buddhism questions the ultimate satisfaction found in external achievements, including career success. These provide temporary pleasure, but not lasting peace or fulfillment. True well-being arises from cultivating inner qualities, wisdom, prajna, compassion, karuna, ethical conduct, sila, mental discipline, samadhi. The concept of karma is relevant here, but perhaps not in the simplistic way often understood. It's about intentional action, Cetana, and its consequences. In a world with less need for traditional labor, what becomes the focus of our intentional actions? Will we direct our energy towards wholesome actions, cultivating kindness, understanding, generosity, or towards unwholesome ones, seeking distraction, fueling craving, engaging in conflict born from boredom or envy? The choice remains ours. AI might automate tasks, but it cannot automate our intentions or our ethical choices. Furthermore, the emphasis on chit, mind or consciousness, as the forerunner of all states is crucial. Our experience of the world, including a world with advanced AI, is shaped by our state of mind. If the mind is filled with fear, attachment, and comparison, even a utopia of leisure will feel like a prison. If the mind is cultivated through practices like mindfulness and compassion, even amidst uncertainty, we can find inner stability and purpose. Purpose, from this view, isn't solely about doing. It's about being, about the quality of our presence, our awareness, our connection to life itself. Perhaps the work that truly matters, the inner work of understanding ourselves and alleviating suffering, is the one task AI can never automate. And perhaps a future with less external labor is precisely the condition needed for more people to engage in this essential inner work. Take a moment now to connect with your own sense of purpose. Without judgment, gently ask yourself, where do I currently find meaning in my life? Notice what arises. Perhaps it's your job, your family, your hobbies, your beliefs. Just observe these sources. Now, imagine the external structures related to work were to dissolve. Imagine you had ample time, basic needs met, but no required job. What feelings arise with this thought? Freedom? Anxiety? Emptiness? Curiosity? Again, just observe without judgment. Bring your attention to your breath. Feel the simple rise and fall of the abdomen or chest. Connect with this fundamental rhythm of being alive. In this moment, just breathing, just being. Is there a sense of inherent value, independent of doing anything? Consider an activity you engage in purely for the love of it, with no external reward. Maybe it's listening to music, walking in nature, talking with a loved one, learning something new. What quality is present in that engagement? Can that quality be cultivated more broadly in life, regardless of external circumstances? This reflection isn't about planning for a specific future. It's about loosening the grip of identification with external roles. It's about touching the intrinsic worth that exists beneath the labels. It's about finding the anchor within, amidst the changing tides of the world. The city square hums with a different kind of energy. Not the frantic pace of productivity, but the quieter rhythm of presence, connection, and exploration. Is this a naive dream? Or a possible future we can consciously choose to cultivate? The arrival of advanced AI doesn't dictate our response. It presents a profound choice. Do we cling to old definitions of worth, lamenting what is lost? Or do we embrace the opportunity to explore what truly matters when survival is less dependent on toil? Can we shift our focus from making a living to making a life? From external validation to internal cultivation? From productivity metrics to the quality of our awareness and compassion? The machines may do the jobs, but the work of discovering and living a meaningful life that remains, perhaps more urgently than ever, our human responsibility. What kind of ancestor will we be for a world beyond labor? This is a question that touches the future of humanity. How do you imagine finding purpose and fulfillment in a world potentially less defined by traditional work? What inner resources or community values would be most important? Share your reflections, your hopes, your concerns in the comments. Let's continue this vital conversation, navigating the future with wisdom and shared understanding.